Okay, so another article in the March 16th edition of Scholastic News is Are We Ready for Driverless Cars? This is a debate topic, and by the end of the discussion, we will choose yes or no and write about it. Are we ready for driverless cars? The idea of cars that drive themselves may seem like something from a science fiction movie, but many companies have been testing self-driving vehicles on America's roads. And in some states, driverless taxis are already transporting passengers. But is it time to take our hands off the wheel? We ask two experts to steer us towards some answers. Jeffrey Miller is a professor of computer science at the University of Southern California, and Kathy Chase is the president of Advocates for Highway and Auto Safety. Jeffrey Miller says yes. As a computer scientist, I've spent almost 20 years working on the technology to operate driverless cars. I think these vehicles will improve everyday life and be safer for everyone. Driverless cars have been tested on streets and highways for millions of miles. Every mile has taught us more about how to improve the technology to keep people safe. As a result, driverless cars are much safer than human-driven cars. More than 90% of car accidents involve human error, but we'll never have to worry about a self-driving car getting tired or distracted. These cars will improve the lives of so many people, especially those who aren't able to drive. It will be much easier for people with disabilities and the elderly to get around. Kathy Chase says no. For 15 years, I've worked to make cars and roads safer. Nearly 37,000 people die in car crashes in the United States each year. One day, driverless cars may help lower that terrible number, but not for a long time. There have been several accidents involving these types of cars. In one case in Arizona, a self-driving test vehicle struck and killed a pedestrian crossing the street. The technology just isn't ready yet. For example, self-driving cars can't handle certain weather conditions. They rely on cameras and sensors to help them see the road. But if snow or ice covers those devices, the cars can't operate safely. Many big questions need to be answered before we fill the road with driverless cars. Like who's responsible when crashes happen? The owner, the passenger, or the car company? What's your opinion? Choose yes or choose no. Highlight answers, evidence to support the choice that you make. And then we're going to write about it. On page 7, you read a debate about driverless cars. What do you think? Use the graphic organizer to plan a 5-paragraph essay that explains your opinion. Then write your essay on another sheet of paper. Just like in class, I will begin with the introduction, and then I will allow you to give your reasons, evidence, and wrap it up with the conclusion. In our introduction, it says to tell readers about the topic and state your opinion. Assume that they haven't read the debate. Let's see. This debate was about driverless cars. Okay, so let's go back and look and find a way to introduce this. We could actually start with what they said. The idea of cars that drive themselves may seem like something from a science fiction movie. Many companies are self-driving vehicles on American roads, and some states are already transporting passengers. But are we ready for driverless cars? Okay, so in our first paragraph, we're going to tell readers about the topic by restating what we just read. First sentence. Indent, please. In Are we ready for driverless cars, comma, the debate discusses whether cars without drivers are a good idea or not, period. Make sure to put quotation marks around the title of that passage. You can pause until you catch up to what I just said. New sentence. We're still on the introduction. I need its name again. Jeffrey Miller, comma, professor of computer science at University of Southern California, thinks the vehicles will improve everyday life, period. And in our next sentence, we'll discuss Kathy Chase. On the other hand, comma, Kathy Chase, comma, president of the Advocates for Highway and Auto Safety, thinks that driverless cars shouldn't be available for a long time, period. Now, I don't have to repeat the sentences because you can simply press pause or go back a few seconds to hear what I said. And that will suffice as our introduction. We told what the article is about, and we gave the opposing opinions. Now it's time for you to choose yes or no. Do you think that we're ready for them? If so, give 3 reasons that support your view, and then provide evidence from the previous text. If you think no, do the same. Give reasons and then provide evidence from the text. Finally, after you've spent a few minutes doing that, you want to summarize your opinion. You can end with a question or a suggestion, or just restate what we read at the beginning. I'm going to go back to the actual article and leave it there so that you guys can get some evidence. You may use this part right here for your reasons and your evidence. Spend about 15 minutes working on that, and then write it on a separate sheet of paper. Have a good day, guys.